very good evening to you. This is Primetime News coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. And I'm Sandro Ferdinando.
And I'm Rahna Farouk.
David Cameron is back at Downing Street as Prime Minister after a Conservative win a majority as Ed Miliband resigns as leader of Labour Party.
A comprehensive report coming up on the news, but first, here's a look at the headlines tonight.
President extends invitation to rally around a common cause. Sri Lanka Army President's Guard disbanded. Mayor and the opposition leader of the Kotte Municipal Council arrested.
President Maithripala Sirisena says that the agenda of the country is more important than political agendas. The president made this statement while declaring open the Magampura Ruhuna Heritage Museum today.
The old district secretariat of Habbatata, which was modernized and transformed into a museum, comprises of many modern facilities.
සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස ඇමතිතුමා එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ ඇමතිවරයෙක් විදියටත් එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ
Sajid Premadasa is a minister of the United National Party and is also the deputy leader of the United National Party. Mahinda Amaravira is not only a deputy chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, but is also a deputy secretary. Both of them are seated here as ministers of the same government. What I hope for the country is the same. Rather than limiting it to political stages, we do not wish to divide a national. Dividing the people of the country for whatever the reason it may be will not benefit the betterment of the country. Are divisions being made for power, or is the country being brought together to build the country? The national agenda of the country is more important than the agendas of political parties. Although there are persons who say that they are against a national government and an all-party government, there is a national need in the country to strengthen the economy of the country and move forward. This country needs to be built on lessons learned from the other nations in the world.
If you take the Hambantota district, today His Excellency took a special step ahead. The development of the Hambantota district should not only be conducted by just one party alone. Everyone should be involved and engaged in the project. That's why myself and the Minister of Fisheries, Mahinda Amaravira, are co-chairpersons of the District Coordinating Committee.
Bail was given for 26 persons, including monks and politicians, for engaging in a demonstration in the vicinity of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption disregarding a court order. Now, 26 of the 27 persons against whom notices were issued over the incident appeared before Colombo Chief Magistrate Gyan Pilapitiya today.
The demonstration was staged in the vicinity of the Bribery Commission when former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa arrived at the Commission recently. While there was a court order preventing the demonstration, 9 monks and 17 others, including public representatives Bandula Gunawardena, Dalasala Peruma, Prasanna Ranathunga, Veerakumara Disanayaka, Udaya Gammanpila, Udit Lokubandara, SM Chandrasena were issued notices for engaging in the demonstration. The monks were released on sureties of 1 million rupees each. The politicians and civilian suspects were released on a cash bail of 10,000 rupees each and sureties of 1 million rupees each. Venerable Galabuda Atte Nyanasar Thera did not appear in court today. Attorneys informed court that the Thera had gone abroad. Colombo Chief Magistrate Gyan Pilapitiya ordered for a separate case to be filed against Mohammad Muzammil for not accepting the notice issued by courts. An attorney appearing for the case said that the former Secretary of Defence should also be included in the list. They noted that as Gotabaya Rajapaksa had arrived at the location of the demonstration and addressed the gathering, such a measure needs to be taken. The case will be recalled on the 13th of July. Meanwhile, the Colombo Chief Magistrate, who looked into a case filed by a group of attorneys against the use of a flag similar to the national flag, ordered for the suspects to be named. The Cinnamon Gardens police presented facts to court. However, the CID was vested with naming the suspects. The case will be recalled on the 13th of July.
A former secretary to the Ministry of Sports, Nanda Malawara Arachi, was summoned to the Police Financial Crimes Investigations Division, or the FCID, to record a statement.
After providing a statement to the FCID for several hours, Nanda Malawara Arachi left the premises. The police media unit said that a statement was recorded from him over a 39 million rupee financial irregularity that has taken place at the Ministry of Sports. Nanda Malawara Arachi was a former secretary to the Ministry of Law and Order and was a former ambassador of Sri Lanka in Indonesia.
The mayor and the opposition leader of the Sri Jayawardenepura Municipal Council have been arrested by the police. The mayor was remanded until Monday after he was produced before the Colombo Magistrates Court this evening.
The opposition staged a protest yesterday at the premises of the Kotte Municipal Council, revealing details of corruption and other malpractices of the mayor. Following the altercation, Mayor of Kotte, Janaka Ranawaka, was arrested and admitted to the Kalabovila hospital. At present, the opposition leader of the Kotte Municipal Council, who was said to have been attacked, was receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital. Mayor of the Kotte municipality was later produced before the Colombo magistrate this evening. Meanwhile, opposition leader Sugat Apuhami, who was arrested, is currently receiving treatment at the National Hospital under police protection.
Speaking at a meeting yesterday, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa commented on the allegations levelled over the assets of the Rajapaksa family.
They have informed India that such persons have money and to find those assets. They have told the US that we have assets in dollars and to help them locate those assets. How much did they say? 5 billion. There are only 5.6 billion in the Sri Lankan reserve. Mangala speaks of 18 billion. That is 3 times the amount in our reserves. When you put together the bond issue and other issues, the loss the country had incurred is 45 billion. We do not know to whom that commission went to. No matter how they attack me, I will not attack anyone personally. We must accept that we did not respond to this properly through Facebook and the media. National organizer of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Susil Premajayantha, says that there are doubts over the process of bringing to book persons involved in fraud. We are not against the nabbing of the rogues, but what we say is to nab the rogue at home. The governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Without arresting the rogue at home, they are attempting to arrest the others under the police ordinance. Who is the one who calls the shot here? The one who decides at the end is the Prime Minister. This is the first time in history that a gazette notification was issued at the cabinet subcommittee stages taking decision on a criminal charge. There was no bill in Parliament. When the people come together, they do not leave a piece of those gazette notifications or the divisions. They need to understand that. MP Sujil Premajayantha made this statement at a women's workshop that was organized by the Women's Front of the SLFP this morning. The workshop took place at the Sri Lanka Institute of Development Administration under the auspices of Secretary of the SLFP Women's Front Reconstruction Committee, Sudarshani Fernandopulle.
Army spokesperson Brigadier Jainath Jayavira said the President's Guard of the Sri Lanka Army has been disbanded retrospective from April 30th.
The President's Guard is the Sri Lanka Army, which was raised by the office of the former President in view of administrative requirements, has been disbanded with effect from the 30th of April. The troops have been redirected to the respective regiments and units. However, all measures have been taken to ensure necessary security to the former President with required security personnel as per the directives of the Ministry of Defence.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the present government will ensure that the armed forces who fought for the country will be given their due place. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe made this announcement while meeting a group of retired officers from the security sector and activists at the UNP party headquarters, Sirikota.
Rajapaksa regime යටතේ
The army and the war heroes were made to cut grass under the Rajapaksa regime. Today we have been able to deploy them for international humanitarian missions. John Kerry has made a special note on the acceptance of the Sri Lankan armed forces to join with the United Nations missions. The US will support it. They say that we betrayed the army. We are not the ones who betrayed the army. During a war, it is natural for the rules of engagement of war to be violated by a few. The Sri Lankan government should have looked into that. Without doing so, what they did was to agree for international investigation. We cannot move away from that. However, after President Maithripala Sirisena was elected and made the Minister of Defence, the situation has changed.
Maithripala Sirisena මැතිතුමා ජනාධිපති වෙලා Maithripala Sirisena මැතිතුමා ආරක්ෂා ඇමති වුණාන් පස්සේ ඊට වඩා වෙනස් තත්ත්වයක් අද තියෙනවා.
The Run Bhumi National Unity Rally, organized by the MTV and NBC networks, Newsfirst, National Youth Services Council and the Colombo Port City in a bid to join with the national building efforts, commenced from Thalemana today.
The program, the first of its kind in Sri Lanka, symbolizing national unity and reconciliation, marked its inauguration this morning in Thalemana. The inauguration ceremony commenced under the auspices of senior officials of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, the Colombo Port City Project and the National Youth Services Council.
The Maharaj organization is perhaps an emblem for national unity in Sri Lanka. The organization is blind to race, religion, caste and creed. But why did the Maharaj organization decide to launch and be involved in a national rally for unity? All of us know, understand and remember how much Sri Lanka has fought for, cried for, and even died for the peace that we are enjoying today. As we go through village after village, town after town, city after city, we hope to touch as many Sri Lankans as is humanly possible. We want every Sri Lankan to have some part in this national endeavor. And after 35 or 40 days, when we reach Colombo, when we build that monument for unity, we want every Sri Lankan to be able to say, I did that. We did this together. This is our objective. We look forward to seeing many Sri Lankans, Tamils, Sinhalese, Muslims, Burghers, Moors, Christians, Buddhists, Hindu, whatever you may be, matters little, because to the rest of the world, we are first and we are only Sri Lankan.
The Bhumi Rally for Unity is a celebration of this cultural variety, diversity and beauty. When we embarked on this project, we had but one goal. Our purpose was singular. While our end goal is the monument to the national unity, along the way, when we travel from city to city, from village to village, we want to take with us a message. This message will be added to and will be enriched as our journey progresses. And this will be done by none other than yourself, the people of Sri Lanka. The message used is a message of unity, of love, of beauty and warmth. It is one of kindness and of grace. It is a message of every essence of humanity is played in all its splendor.
The National Youth Services Council does not stop at any point. Therefore, the council remains youthful forever. As the current president of the Youth Services Council, I will make sure that it does not grow old. The MTV-MBC network, which introduced new concepts and understands the minds of the youth, had joined with the National Youth Services Council in this social endeavour after discussions. At the moment, I must say that the National Youth Services Council at once agreed to join with the Run Bhumi National Unity Rally. Why? Because the National Youth Services Council is an organisation that represents the entire youth in the country. MTV-MBC Networks is the only media network that appears on behalf of the youth in the country. The MTV-MBC Media Network is the only media network that had introduced new programs to the youth in the country. The National Youth Council was not established to show the youth dreams, but to pave the way for them.
School students were involved in placing the brick bearing the name of Thalemana on the special vehicle that will lead the Run Bhumi National Unity Rally, strengthening Sri Lanka's journey to win over the world. The Run Bhumi National Unity Rally, which will involve all Sri Lankans in the country's development drive, reached Mana this afternoon. The rally was welcomed by the representatives of the National Youth Services Council for the Mana district. The brick bearing the name Mana was placed in the special vehicle, highlighting Mana's support to the nation's development drive. The final stop for the day of the Run Bhumi National Unity Rally was Madhu, home of the Madhu Shrine. The brick bearing the name Madhu was placed in the special vehicle, marking the important moment. Music performed by Sirasa Dahasakmal added colour to the entertainment this evening in the Madhu town. The Run Bhumi National Unity Rally, which will travel across 1,500 villages in 40 days, will travel from Madhu to Pavarasikulam, Vavuniya and reach Mankulam tomorrow.
Join us to build the country. The Run Bhumi Rally for Unity. Venerable Galagama Attadasi Thera was elected as the Mahanayaka of the Askari chapter of the Siam sect. The Mahanayaka who was elected today will become the 21st Mahanayaka of the Askari chapter of the Siam sect.
The Special Sangha Council convened today at the Askari Mahaviharaya in order to elect the new Mahanayaka of the Askari chapter of the Siam sect. The Mahanayaka was elected on the consensus reached by 18 monks of the Sangha Council. According to our correspondent, Anunayaka of the Askari chapter was unanimously elected at the Sangha Council to the post of Mahanayaka. Subsequent to being elected as the Mahanayaka, the Diyabadana Nilame of the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic presented the Atapirikara to the new Mahanayaka.
I have rendered my services for the betterment of the religion on behalf of the Askari Mahaviharaya for over 3 decades. The monks took into consideration that work that I have done and also my age. No one else came forward. At this moment, I wish to announce that the Sangha Council unanimously elected me as the Mahanayaka.
The Most Venerable took robes in 1936 at the age of 14. Most Venerable Attadasi Thero received his Piriven education for a decade at the Sri Dharmaraja Pirivena in Matale since 1937 and went on to achieve distinctions in Pali, Sinhala, culture and Tamil subjects in 1947. The Most Venerable achieved his Pandita degree and later on the Saddharmachara degree, obtained Abhidharmachara accolade in 1950, followed with the Tripitaka Acharya degree. Most Venerable Galagama Sri Athadasi Thero obtained his Majjima Banaka in the year 1950. The Most Venerable, who was later on appointed as Yanunayaka of the Askeri chapter of the Siam sect, is one who rendered great service for the betterment of the Sambuddha Sasana.
Essential food items and other goods that were collected after an appeal was made through the MTV-MBC network by the chairman of the Mahabodhi Society, Venerable Banagala Upathisathero, to be distributed to people of Nepal, were handed over to the Prime Minister's office today.
Secretary of the Prime Minister's office, Saman Ekanaka, accepted the goods on behalf of the Prime Minister's office at the Mahabodhi Agrashravaka Viharaya. Food items and other materials worth over 2 million rupees were thus handed over. When the devastating earthquake struck Nepal, a request was made through the Prime Minister's office that aid is required. They needed drinking water and clothes. They lost everything and had with them only the clothes they were wearing at the time the earthquake struck. Therefore, at a time when these innocent persons needed our assistance, I am extremely happy that along with the intervention of the Mahabodhi Society, we were able to provide them with these essentials.
Welcome back to the news. The Ministry of Power and Energy says that it has not made a decision to increase the price of crude oil. Now, a communique issued by the ministry reads that there are certain false rumors that are circulating, citing that the price of crude oil will increase due to political reasons, adding that officials are making statements denying the increase.
It was revealed yesterday that the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation had requested from the Ministry of Finance to increase the prices of fuel or to slash the taxes imposed on the government as they face a situation where they will incur losses in the sale of certain types of fuel. Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Energy Sunil Bhatakal stated that they are holding discussions with the Treasury to reduce the tax being imposed on fuel. Trade unions point out that the taxes imposed by the past government on petrol and diesel at Rs 65.99 and 16.1 is still being maintained by the current government. Palithurangi Bandara, the State Minister of Power and Energy, commented on the fuel prices issue on the Saturday political debate program on our sister channel Sirasa TV.
The cost of living decreased as a result of the reduction to the petrol and diesel prices, following which we have incurred a loss of Rs 4.1 billion. The initial revenue earned by the Petroleum Corporation has dropped by 4.1 billion. Therefore, we have shown the Treasury and the Cabinet the reduction of the revenue of the Petroleum Corporation. Therefore, we have requested to reduce the tax incurred through the Treasury. If a tax incentive is not provided, a situation would arise where the price will have to be increased by 14 rupees. But we have not requested for an increase in the price.
The release from the Ministry of Power and Energy reads that although crude oil and gas prices in the world markets dropped in 2014, there is a possibility of those prices increasing. Hence, the ministry noted that consumers will be provided with a proper price formula in order to strengthen the energy sector.
Going back to some local news now, Attorney at Law Sunil Vatagala appearing for the aggrieved party over the accident said to be caused by a backup vehicle of Salman Khan during his visit to Sri Lanka at the recent presidential election says that there are suspicions surrounding the accident. Now he adds that the police need to carry out a proper investigation over the accident.
Bollywood actor Salman Khan took part in a number of charity events during his visit to Sri Lanka on the 29th of December last year. An accident was reported on that day at 3 in the afternoon from Kalapaluwa, Rajgiriya, leaving an 18-year-old boy and 17-year-old suffering from injuries. A ceremony which saw the participation of the Indian actor Salman Khan was incidentally organized in close proximity to the location where the accident took place. Eyewitness accounts reports that the boy and girl who were at the bus stand were run over by a defender jeep traveling at high speed. It was reported that another defender that drove behind it whisked away the driver inside the defender that met with the accident. There was a meeting in Koswata. It is said that a column of defender jeeps arrived there. We had to spend hundreds of thousands on the surgery that was performed on his fractured skull. What we request is that provisions be given to ensure that our child will live in a better way. I was in a discussion with the Elections Commission over the recent presidential election where Bollywood actor Salman Khan had visited the Heva Vitharuna Vidyalaya in close proximity to the Elections Commission and was distributing spectacles. He was with the former president Sannamal Rajapaksa and several others. Later we were informed of a tragic incident. A Defender jeep providing security to Salman Khan had knocked down my client and whisked away. According to the police, on the said day, although actor Salman Khan had visited a school in the area, there is a gap in the timeline of incidents. The police said that they suspect a university student who was attending a wedding ceremony at a hotel in the area had caused the accident along with another friend and were driving the Defender jeeps. Later, when it was revealed that the number plates of the Defender jeep were fake, the police seized another Defender jeep bearing the same number plates. These numbers were registered under Priyanka Rajaratne, a minister from the previous administration. Providing a statement to the police, the former minister had said that he had sold the jeeps bearing those numbers to another individual. However, this registration document obtained from the Department of Motor Traffic of Sri Lanka indicates that the current owner of this vehicle is Priyanka Rajaratne. The police needs to conduct a broad investigation as to why a boy was driving a vehicle bearing fake plates. From there, it needs to be investigated as who his father is. What is the connection to Priyanka Rajaratne? Was that vehicle to give the security to Salman Khan? Another fact that we were able to unravel after going through the details of this Defender jeep was that university student Dulaj Hasaranga was the previous owner of this Defender jeep owned by the former minister at the time of the accident. Another fact is that former minister had purchased this jeep from this very university student prior to this accident. On the 29th of December, after running over the boy and girl, the Defender jeep also collided with the tipper truck. After the said accident, former Minister Priyanka Rajaratne contacted me. The tipper that was knocked belongs to our company. He spoke to me for 3 days and requested for the matter to be settled. That is not to drag this matter. The way I see this is that Priyanka Rajaratne had purchased this from another individual and later had transferred to his name. The Defender jeep, which is at the center of this controversy, is currently at the Rajagiri police station and had been covered with rain covers. Our attempts to contact former Minister Priyanka Rajaratne over the matter proved futile.
Well, that's the end of the primetime news for this evening. I'm Sandra Ferdinando.
And I'm Rahna Farooq.
We leave you tonight with footage of an incident that our News First team experienced in Vilpattu today. Take care and good night.
Gan.